Have you ever considered what you would do if the person you trusted most betrayed you when you needed them the most? Imagine breaking 2 bones, being in excruciating pain, and discovering that your spouse did more than abandon you emotionally. They crossed the ultimate line of betrayal. What would you do if, when confronted, they showed no remorse? This is my story, which you will not want to miss. It all began when I was physically broken and vulnerable. My wife, whom I relied on for support, decided to betray me in the worst way possible. And when I confronted her, she didn't even apologize. Her infidelity caused more emotional pain than any physical injury. Nobody could have predicted what happened next. I chose to take matters into my own hands. What I did changed everything, ensuring she would never forget her actions. This story is not solely about infidelity. It encompasses themes of resilience, justice, and our difficult choices when faced with extreme challenges. Trust me, the ending of this story is as heartbreaking as it is unforgettable. So grab your tissues, settle in, and allow me to guide you through this incredible journey. Stay tuned to learn how my pain became an unforgettable act of retribution. Worries my wife cheated after I broke 2 bones said she wasn't sorry. I made sure she was. Hey guys. I 40 male have been married to my Christine. 39 female for about 10 years now, and we have 1 child, my lovely daughter who is 9 years old. Like any marriage we've had, our ups and downs, a lot of downs to be honest. But we come through everything fine. There's been no infidelity, but there has been a basis for trust issues on both our parts. I will admit, however, in the last 2 years or so, I've done my best as a husband, and I think I've maintained a good record. My wife and I have a good life in the bedroom. We're getting older, but things haven't dropped off too significantly from back when we met. I've always been very thankful for that much, because I have been involved with women who might as well have been celibate. And it was frustrating to say the least because no amount of communication fixed anything, so a woman who actually wants to roll around in bed is a blessing to me. I owned a business before I met my wife, and when we got married, she eventually joined me at the helm to run things about 2 weeks ago. I got into an accident on my way to work. I got T-boned at a red light and woke up in the hospital with a broken femur and humerus. Yeah, needless to say, that wasn't fun. Once it was certain there wasn't any internal damage, I was let home in 2 days with a cast on my arm. And my leg, obviously my movement was impaired quite a lot, but I was able to find my way around the house with a lot of stumbling and leaning on things. Of course, there were certain things I was unable to do, and Christine had to help me with them for about the first week. She seemed to be fine with it, and every time I asked her if it wasn't too much of a burden, she'd say no with a big smile. However, once I crossed over into the second week, I started to notice a bit of change in her attitude, to be honest. When I said our life in the bedroom is good, it's really good. And we usually don't go a full week without anything going on. So my first assumption was that it might have been because of that, especially because I was starting to feel my body craving it too. Again, when I asked her if I was being a burden, she said no, but this time she seemed more short with me. I asked her straight up whether it was because of the lack of action between us, but she said it wasn't, and left the room promptly after that. At that moment, I really felt it was. But I felt like being married as long as we were, she'd be able to answer me truthfully with a question like that, my mouth and one of my hands still at work, so I feel like we'd be able to work things out. I mean, I had the urge to ask her to help me blow a load, but she's already doing a lot for me, so I decided not to bother, at least until I can't take it anymore. Now here's the thing, yesterday she came back home after managing the business on my behalf that day, and she was very clearly in a much better mood than she was all the other days. Like, I could describe her mood as bubbly now. I don't know if I'm being paranoid, but since I feel like her mood before was because we couldn't be intimate, I'm suddenly overthinking whether she was able to get somebody else to take care of that side of things for her. I mean, she's never cheated on me, does anyone ever know for sure? And apart from that, sudden change in her mood. I wouldn't have anything else to use to suspect her, but she could have had a massage or heard some good news. But talking to her, there didn't seem to be any obvious reason for her sudden happiness. So before I do anything rash, not like I can with the way I am right now, I want to hear all of your opinions. Should I try and do some digging, or should I just assume that she was just happy for some other reason? I mean, I feel like I might be jumping to conclusions after such a long time knowing each other, but let me know what you all think, please. Well, sounds like you're in a real pickle there, mate. Broken bones and broken hearts. What a combo. I gotta hand it to you, though. Maintaining a good record in the bedroom. Despite all those trust issues, maybe she found a magic wand that doubles as a masseuse. Or maybe she's just high on the thrill of running the business. Solo, or who knows. Maybe she's discovered the secret to internal happiness in a bottle of wine. If you do end up playing detective op, just be careful of finding things that might hurt worse than breaking a couple of update. Hey everyone, it's been about 3 weeks since my last post, but I'm back with an update. A lot of you said I should go ahead and check her phone. Partners should be allowed to check each other's phones if they have nothing to hide. I know she can check mine as much as she wants because I've never had anything to hide. Well, I eventually did check, and boy did I find things anyway. I wasn't about to ask her to hand it over because that would give her the chance to delete any evidence I had to gain access to it at a time when I would have enough time to search all through things and potentially save any proof I found just so, after that day when she was all happy, she slowly went back into a mood, and then just another day was all bubbly again. It was the third time that she came back all happy that I got my chance. She was chewing gum, but I was sure I could smell a slight scent of booze following her. She also didn't kiss me as she got back home, but she was happy. I think it might have been whatever she drank, but it didn't take long for her to fall asleep, and she left her phone right beside her in bed. I never checked Catherine's phone before, but I was very anxious as I did it because I was scared she could wake up at any moment and I'd have to start trying to explain myself. But the anxiety from not knowing whether she was cheating on me was honestly a lot worse. So I pushed through. There were no photos or videos of her with anyone unusual. But it was when I went to her messaging app that I saw an unread message from an Alex, and squinting at the profile picture I saw, it was the same Alex I knew that worked for me. Thing is, this normally wouldn't have been an issue since she was manning the workspace at the moment, but the message was gotten home with a kiss emoji at the end. I opened the message immediately despite the last one being on red, and I went through everything up until the point where I had the accident. Things were very formal until about a day before that day that my wife had come home all bubbly the first time he had started flirting with her heavily, and she returned the energy. He must have gotten some kind of green light at work that day to come on strong, and so it just made it clear how little I knew while I was at home recovering. I noticed that on the 3 occasions that my wife had come back in a brighter mood, Alex always asked her if she had gotten home. But he never did that on other days. Between those days there was some flirting here and there, but nothing extreme, though it might as well have been. I took several pictures with my phone and put her phone back. This was about 2 days ago, and I really don't know what to do. She didn't seem any different the next day. So I don't think she suspected I touched her phone, probably because she was tipsy, but I really don't know what to do. I have all the evidence I need to come to a very solid conclusion that my wife has cheated on me with my employee at least 3 times, but how do I proceed from here in a way that actually makes sense? Do I just say divorce and figure everything out from here? The thing is, I feel so hurt. We haven't had a super rosy marriage, but for the most part it has been good. But cheating never seemed to be a fear of mine. But after I have an accident, that's when she decides to cheat on me. I've struggled to act normal around her, but I really don't know if I can take it any longer. I need this to end. But I can't let it just end with a divorce. I need more than that. I need to feel satisfied. Please. I've been trying to think of things I can do, but my mind is failing to put 2 thoughts together. I'll be waiting to hear what advice you all may have for reaction me who needs crutches when you've got a keen eye for uncovering infidelity. All right, now let's talk about your wife's little rendezvous with Mr. Employee of the Month. Alex looks like he's been taking more than just coffee breaks with her, huh? As for your dear wife, well, she's got some explaining to do, doesn't she? Cheating on you while you're laid up with broken bones. Talk about adding insult to injury. Now onto the fun part. Revenge. Sure, you could go to the traditional route with a messy divorce, but where's the fun? In that, why not get a little creative with your payback? So get plotting, get even. And most importantly, get back to living your best life without a cheating spouse dragging you down after all. There's a whole world out there just waiting for you to conquer it. Broken bones and update 3 all update. Wow, time flies. It's been a long time since my last update. But after posting it, I think I must have read through every single comment there. Thank you to everyone for all the kind words and suggestions, and I have to say they certainly contributed to my approach. The first thing I did was to find a divorce lawyer. I didn't pay a retainer at that time, but just wanted to know what I could about his services. At that point, I stupidly still felt like there could be an explanation for what I had read on her phone, so I decided to confront her before making anything final. It was a bit easier for me to move around on my own, so I told her that I wanted to follow her to work to see how things were going and say hi to the employees. She tried to weakly convince me to just stay at home and that she had everything under control. But at that point, I knew nothing was going to stop me from going, so about an hour later I was in the passenger seat and we were heading to our business location. Most of the guys were super happy to see me. Alex included, though he seemed a lot more awkward than the rest of them. My wife also didn't seem to be super happy that I was there towards the end of the workday. I called for Alex to come into my office, and I did that. When my wife was somewhere close by, I noticed her freeze up as I did that, and she actually followed Alex into my office, which she normally wouldn't do if it was anyone else, but I didn't tell her to leave. Both of them seemed shifty, though I might have been imagining it. I only asked Alex something about a client we had been dealing with before the accident happened, and I could actually see the fear disappear from his body as he realized I was just asking about something relatively trivial. Once the day ended, I headed back home with my wife, and she was slightly talkative maybe, because she realized, or at least assumed, that she hadn't been found out. I felt like I had more than enough suspicion at that point to be very direct with her, and I decided that I would do it the next day when she returned from work. Perhaps fortunately for me, the next day was another one of those days where her mood seemed to be better than usual, which triggered me because it made me assume she had just been intimate with my employee. It's incredible how a calm confrontation can quickly spiral into a physical altercation, especially when there's no remorse involved. Your wife's lack of guilt and subsequent violent behavior are truly shocking. Her behavior is unforgivable, and you're understandably upset right now. Your decision to call the police was correct, especially given your physical state and the need to ensure your daughter's safety. You've made significant progress toward resolving this nightmare. You must follow up after contacting a divorce lawyer. Gather all of the evidence you have, including pictures of her and Alex's messages and any police documentation about the incident in which she pushed you. Given her abandonment of the home and your child, you may have a strong custody case. Consult with your lawyer about the best way to obtain full custody and ensure your daughter is protected and provided for. Your daughter witnessed a traumatic incident. She must seek therapy to process what she witnessed and support her through the upcoming changes. Given that Alex is an employee, think about how you want to handle his future involvement in your business. His actions have impacted both your personal and professional lives. While it is natural to prioritize immediate issues, do not overlook your own mental and physical health. Therapy can help you process this betrayal and rationalize your next steps. Prepare for the financial ramifications of divorce. Your lawyer can help protect your assets and ensure a fair property division. During this difficult time, your top priority should be to make your daughter feel safe and loved. Christine will have to face the legal and personal consequences of her actions. Stay strong, and remember that seeking satisfaction through legal and constructive means is the best way to proceed. It's a difficult journey, but you'll emerge stronger with support and careful planning. The last encounter involved a physical altercation with the police. She grabbed the papers, examined them, and then looked at me with rage and disbelief. She started to say something, but I interrupted her and told her I was done talking. Christine and Alex left the office, and I felt a weight lifted from my shoulders. I knew there was a long road ahead, but this was a big step. I immediately contacted my lawyer to inform him of the latest developments and ensure the divorce was proceeding correctly. In the coming weeks, I concentrated on healing both physically and emotionally. I spent quality time with my daughter, assuring her everything would be fine. We began seeing a therapist together to help her cope with the changes and recognize that none of it was her fault. Legally speaking, everything moved quickly. Christine did not contest the divorce, most likely because she knew she had no legal grounds after everything that had happened. The court granted me primary custody of our daughter, while Christine was given limited supervised visitation rights at first. Work became a refuge for me. I hired new employees to replace Christine and Alex, focusing on creating a positive and professional environment. The business thrived, and I found new meaning in running it. Socially, the consequences were mixed. Some of Christine's friends and family attempted to defend her actions. Still, The majority of people were outraged by her behavior, particularly after learning about the physical altercation and her abandonment of our daughter. Throughout it all, I received tremendous support from my family and friends and some unexpected allies on Christine's side who recognized her actions for what they were. This support network was instrumental in keeping me strong and focused. Eventually, the anger and hurt subsided, leaving a sense of peace and accomplishment. I'd overcome one of my life's most difficult challenges and emerged stronger. Throughout this ordeal, my daughter and I grew closer, and I knew we'd be okay. As I write this final update, I honestly say I am in a much better place. Life isn't perfect, but it's stable and full of opportunities. I'm excited about the future, where I hope to be the best father possible and expand my business. To anyone going through a similar situation, remember that you are stronger than you realize, and there is always a way forward, even when everything appears to be falling apart. Stay true to yourself, seek help, and take one step at a time. You will get through this. Employees were present, but I didn't care. She grabbed the papers from me and marched out of the room. The rest of the day was awkward, and I had to deal with a lot of cursing and texting from her after she realized how many people I had told about her cheating. Again, my story does not end there. It only gets better. Remember the assault? I had a police report and a hospital report, so I went to the police station after business hours to report everything. I told them I wanted to file charges. To cut to the chase, my divorce lawyer was able to help me structure the case beautifully as an added bonus. This happened after I confronted her about cheating, and she was unapologetic. I was injured. She abandoned me, and my daughter witnessed it. She was sentenced to 1 week in jail, as well as anger management classes. I hated that my little girl had to get involved, but it was worthwhile for me. The criminal record made me happy. Then we got into the divorce proceedings. These lasted a long time, especially since Christine was extremely stubborn throughout the process. However, in the end it was a breeze because there was far too much documented evidence of my ex-wife's bad behavior. I mean, she had assaulted me, which she admitted. She admitted that she cheated on me, and she showed no remorse for either of them. My daughter had to witness her father's assault, which killed me. Because I fired her before finalizing the divorce, I must now pay a manageable amount of alimony for the next 5 years. She is not part of the business I started from scratch. I have custody of my daughter because her mother's ability to control her temper and avoid bringing strange men into her life is in question. And I get to keep the house because why uproot my little girl? I was able to reveal my wife's behavior to all of her friends and give her a clean criminal record. I didn't intend to do all this, but she made it work for me because she's naturally horrible. I wish I'd noticed it sooner, but it is what it is. I am glad the story is over, and my daughter is safe with me. Life goes on, and I'll try to rebuild eventually. But for now, I'm pleased with how things turned out, and I hope you are as well. By the way, Alex dared to put my name down as reference, and I made sure to professionally outline his flaws as an employee, including the fact that he may attempt to be inappropriate with the female partners of high-ranking employees. It was enjoyable to hear, "Oh wow, thank you for informing us about that," from the person on the other end. I suppose no evil goes unpunished. First and foremost, congratulations on taking the phrase, "Hell hath no fury like a man scorned," to an entirely new level. You've mastered the art of sweet revenge, from texting the entire family tree to handing out pink slips like Halloween candy. Let's not forget the highlight, charging like a boss. With a police report, a hospital report, and a lot of righteous rage, you turned that assault into a one-way ticket to jail for your soon-to-be ex. Talk about turning the tables. But what's the real cherry on top? That alimony has an expiration date. 5 years of paying for her sins seems like a small price to pay for the satisfaction of seeing her in prison and your daughter safe and sound by your side. And as for Mr. Employee of the Month, he's about to discover the hard way that karma is a true witch. Are you putting your name down as a reference? Oh, the audacity. But hey, at least you have to professionally outline his flaws and watch him squirm like a worm on a hook. What are your thoughts? Would you have done things differently? And there you have it, everyone. A story of betrayal, justice, and sweet revenge. Remember that life may throw you curveballs, but how you handle them defines you. Don't let others' lies bring you down. Rise above and control your story. We hope you found this journey as interesting as we did. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories of perseverance and triumph. Until next time, take care and remain strong. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more, please like it and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your support means everything to me. I want to reach 1,000 subscribers, but first, I must reach the 100 subscriber mark. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and help me reach my goal. I am confident that with your assistance, we can accomplish our goals. Don't forget to click the bell icon to receive notifications whenever I publish new content. Until next time, take care and remain strong.